We've all seen them. The person who leaves at exactly 5:01 p.m., spends 3 hours a day at the coffee machine, and somehow never gets fired, while you're pulling 60-hour weeks just to keep your head above water. They're seemingly invincible. I spent 30 days studying corporate attrition data and talking to HR insiders to find out why. And the reason isn't that they're lucky. It's actually a calculated survival strategy that you're probably ignoring. If you think the safest way to keep your job is to be the hardest worker in the room, you might actually be first in line to get laid off. You've seen it before. The person who stays late, fixes everything, carries the team, gets cut, and somehow the guy who disappears for 2 hours every day still has a job. That's not bad luck. That's not politics. That's a system. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Stay with me for the next few minutes, because I'm going to show you why this happens and how to make sure you're never the easy decision again. If you've ever felt this at work, drop a eyes in the comments. I want to know I'm not the only one who noticed this. Meet Alex. Alex is what every company says they want. Reliable, fast, sharp. He doesn't just meet deadlines. He beats them, while everyone else is still working on it. Alex already sent the final version. He fixes problems before they even reach his boss. He's the one people go to when things are breaking, the unofficial team backbone. And that's exactly why he's in danger, because in most companies, being valuable doesn't protect you. Being replaceable does. Let's start with something most people get completely wrong. Firing someone is not about performance. It's about hassle. For a manager, firing even a weak employee means writing documentation, starting a formal process, sitting in uncomfortable HR meetings, covering that person's workload temporarily, hiring someone new, training them from scratch. And here's the scary part. That process can take months. Now imagine this. You have 2 employees. Alex, high performer, handles everything quietly. And Sam, average, slow, but visible. If Sam leaves, the whole team notices. If Alex leaves, the system just adjusts. So who's easier to cut? Not the worst performer, the least disruptive one. If this is already making you rethink your strategy, hit like, because what comes next explains why being too good is actually risky. Now here's where it gets uncomfortable, because performance isn't even the main game. There are 2 types of employees: task-focused, people-focused. High performers like Alex, they focus on the work. Slackers, they focus on the room. While Alex is fixing a broken report, someone else is in the break room, laughing at the VP's joke. That wasn't even funny. Yeah, that guy. They know birthdays. They know who matters. They know who influences decisions. They are building something invisible, a social shield. And here's the problem Alex doesn't see. Work gets you results. Relationships get you protection. Let me ask you something. If your manager had to defend you in a meeting, what would they say about you? Your work or your presence? If that question hit a nerve, subscribe, because most people never even realize this until it's too late. Now, let's talk about the system that makes this worse. There's a concept called the Dead Sea Effect, and once you understand it, your entire view of work changes. In a healthy company, talent flows like a river. People come in, grow, leave. New people replace them. But in a broken system, the best people leave first. Why? Because they can. Alex gets offers. Recruiters message him. Opportunities exist. But the average employee, they stay. Not because they love the job, but because they don't have options. And slowly, what's left in the company changes. The strong leave, the average stay, and over time, the entire system fills with people who can't leave. That's the Dead Sea. Not growing, not improving, just stuck. And somehow, those are the people with 10+ years in the company. Yeah, let that sink in. If you've ever wondered why the least productive person has the most seniority, drop a skull in the comments. You're seeing the system clearly now. But here's the real question. If being productive isn't enough, and the system is built like this, How do you actually protect yourself? Because you can't just stop working hard, and you shouldn't become the slacker either. You need a third strategy, one that gives you results and protection. In part 2, I'm going to show you exactly how to build what I call strategic indispensability. Not the kind that traps you, the kind that gives you power. If you're serious about not getting played by the system, hit subscribe, because part 2 is where everything flips.